What comes to your mind when you talk of self-care? To many people, it looks like going for walks. It could be going on holidays. It could be dressing up. It could be having your nails done. It could be spending time with your friends. We have different definitions of self-care, but there are things that I want us to talk about today that are also forms of self-care that we never realize. We only think of self-care as the outward things that we do, the nails, the dress, the outfit, whatever it is. But I want us to sit today and talk of some of the things that are actually very important when it comes to our self-care. And the first thing that I want you to note is that when you learn to set boundaries, that is one of the forms of self-care. When you learn to tell people that this is not what I accept, when you learn to set boundaries and respect them, that is one of the ways that you show yourself that you truly matter. So today, you have learned that one way of showing care to yourself is by setting and drawing boundaries. Did you also know that when you rest, you are practicing self-care as well? When you sit down and just relax, you're not doing anything important, you are relaxing. That is self-care. You don't have to be working 24/7. You don't have to be going up and down all through the day. There are times that you can sit down and rest, like literally resting. Now, I want you to challenge yourself to do this intentionally, because in this economy and in this world, it's very hard to find times to rest. I want you to try this hack. Set times to rest. Like schedule that I'm going to rest on Wednesday at 2 p.m., for example. Or you say that my rest times will be on Sundays as from 2 to 5 p.m. You get my point? Be very intentional with resting. Trust me, your body will thank you. And one thing I promise you, once you rest, you become more productive than before. Something else that can really help you to show your self-love and to take good care of yourself is protecting your mental space, protecting your mental health, protecting your mental status. There are a lot of things going on in this world. Things go wrong at times. People wrong us. Situations go wrong. We normally have challenges at our workplaces, etc. I want you to make it very intentional to take care of your mental health. We go to the hospital when we feel sick, but we fail to realize that we also need to guard our thoughts, to guard our minds, to take care of our mental health, to just sit down and ask yourself, am I doing well? Am I really okay? Do you know that there are times that you don't know yourself up until you feel disturbed, but you can't really tell what's really happening. But one thing I will tell you, when you have mastered taking care of your mental health, when something strikes your mind, you feel that something is not working well. Trust me, when you have mastered yourself, your mental health, you can sit down and say, this is what is causing this problem. You see? Like when you have really mastered yourself and understood your feelings, understood how you feel, there will come a time when you can sit down and really tell that the exact point when your stress started. For example, myself, I will always know when something is amiss, because sometimes you sit down and you're like, my God, I don't feel okay, something is not happening, and I can trace like 5 minutes back and say, oh, I received this call, we had this discussion, probably this didn't go well, or this client needs something that I can't do. You see, my point is this. So please make sure that you understand yourself so much that you can take care of your mental health and know immediately when things start going wrong. Because you know what? Sometimes things could have gone wrong years ago, and you only realize that a decade later, months later, which is not very, very healthy for us. Something very important that can really help you to show care to yourself is having healing conversations. Be it with your friends, with your family members, with your colleagues, with whoever you come through, as long as it's someone that you trust. You see, when you get to a point of being with someone that you have healing conversations, you have these deep healing conversations, trust me, you've made it in life. For example, there are friends that you sit with them on the table, and by the end of the discussion, you feel like, oh wow, I really needed to hear that. Wow, that left me healed. I really needed someone to help me through this. So we need friends, we need family members, or whoever it is that you can have deep healing conversations with. You see, those friends that you meet, you could be having a very hard day. You don't even have to tell them what's really happening, but just the fact that you meet with them and sit down and just have conversations. They could even talk to you about how their business is booming. They could talk to you about this is the car that I'm planning to buy soon. Or they tell you, oh, by the way, I'm going on a holiday. I mean, just these conversations, you go shopping with them, shopping somewhere, just having fun. You see, those friendships, we really need those conversations. They are a very important aspect when it comes to our self-care. And you know what? When you forgive yourself, you're also showing your self-care. When you forgive your past mistakes, you're telling yourself things went wrong, but you know what? We can get up again. When you forgive yourself, you've gotten to a point of accepting that things happened, probably not as planned, but they happened. So acceptance is the first step to healing. So when you have accepted that something didn't go well, and you forgive yourself, trust me, that is the journey that proceeds to healing. So one very important way that you can show your self-care is by forgiving yourself. And the last very, very important thing that can really help you, my dear lady, is this: choosing yourself every day. Waking up in the morning and looking at yourself in the mirror and telling yourself, I'm the most beautiful girl in the world. You see, waking up in the morning and looking at yourself and telling yourself, oh, I deserve all the best things in the world. Waking up in the morning and you're happy being you. Waking up in the morning and you're like, oh my God, you mean God created me this beautiful? You see, those affirmations that you make to yourself, those things that you think are very minor, they're not minor, they matter. Our minds record those conversations, and in the end, they help us to become the women that you have always desired to be. So ladies, this is one challenge I have for you today. Please, other than making your nails, other than dressing well, other than going out with your friends on holidays, try these aspects. They are very, very important when it comes to your self-care. So lady, I want you to do this. Send this video to only 2 of your friends and tell them that Lucy Wilbers passes her love to them. So I'll see you in the next episode.